My name is Nico. I'm from the iwi, or the nations, Ngāpuhi and Te Raroa in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And I'm very humbled to be in the Aichi Triennale 2022. Kia ora. The Aichi Triennale 2002 has been a wonderful experience for me. I have seen so much incredible, impactful, meaningful practices and works of art at all of the different venues. It's a real privilege and an honour to be in the Aichi Triennale and to witness amazing curatorial expertise and amazing coordinators who have helped many of us international artists and local artists carry out our art practices in this new space, in a different space from maybe where we would normally exhibit our work. So I think I have felt that all of the artists have been very well placed in their spaces, and I feel like Takita House is a wonderful, meaningful place to be in, and that this house supports and will, look after these taonga, these works, these treasures from my culture, and I feel very at home in this very warm and well cared for house. So I'm very happy to be in the Aichi Triennale. These mahitoi, these ote works are pieces of, these pieces are made from bark cloth, which is made from the paper mulberry tree, and it is a practice that I have been revitalizing for the past 9 years, researching this process of turning tree bark into cloth, which is an ancient practice that has been practiced all around Oceania, all throughout the Pacific, and came from my ancestors to Aotearoa, New Zealand. It was a practice that we stopped practicing or forgot, and so I didn't have any teachers in Aotearoa to learn from. And I'm one of the first people doing this practice and trying to reinvigorate and teach other people about aute. So I had to learn in Hawaii this practice of making the cloth, and I'm very, very much part of a practice that is thriving in other islands, but in some islands we are still regenerating the practice. So I make these cloth pieces, and I adorn them with kokowai, which is red ochre or iron oxide clay, as well as kere whenua clay, which is the yellow, and the soot pigment, which we call ngarahu. And these are all natural pigments, and these patterns come from our weaving traditions like taniko and tukutuku, which are panels on the inside of the walls of our wharenui, of our houses. And some of these pieces here are about our navigational systems. So the star maps are tools to remember the star houses and which stars rise in which houses. So it comes from the conceptual framework of the star compass, which is how our ancestors sailed and travelled, migrated all around the Pacific, and covered a huge expanse of the ocean, which is 1/3 of the world's surface area. So we were able to travel in our waka, in our canoes, great distances, and visit lands and and that's how we came to Aotearoa. So my work is the work is really about holding on to this knowledge, and the knowledge that is a treasure for generations, for our mokopuna and tamariki to come, and that's what my practice is about, making our people proud to be Māori, and hold on to our traditional practices, because there's so much that we can learn from our ancestors and how they made things and how they saw the world and how they looked after the environment, how they looked after the land and the ocean, and how well they knew about the environment and not just surviving in the environment, but thriving, making the environment, their home, and respecting the land and the ocean. I love the title, Still Alive, for this Triennale. I think it is very poignant for this time, and it is an honest acknowledgement for what we have gone through, the pandemic and also the climate emergency. I think that it's very truthful, and I think that many people are not confronting the reality of the climate crisis and COVID and trying to go back to normal, but I think that we can't necessarily go back to normal and that things have changed, and to be grateful to still be alive right now is important to think about. And I think it also references still alive, like our practices, my culture, our people who have suffered colonization and oppression and continual institutional racism within institutions. We have survived, we are surviving, and we are still here, and as Native people we will always be here. Indigenous people will always be from the land, and they will always be connected to the land, and nobody can take that away from those people, because we have so many generations of connection and blood and sweat and joy and such a strong relationship. We have bones in the land, and that's what connects us to the land. And so I think for being Māori, we are still alive and we are still thriving, and that is something to be proud of, but also keep going, keep fighting, keep reminding the colonizer, the government, that we are still here, and that there needs to justice still needs to be acknowledged, and the Indigenous people of New Zealand still need to be acknowledged.